Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome here for the first time. Today I'm going to be attempting an acrylic ombre with the Valentino cover collection. I also ordered the V square tips and the matte top coat and regular gel top coat. Here I am just kind of taking a look at the colors because I really don't know what I'm going to do at this point. So I looked at Bad and Boujee and yep, decided to go with that one. I'm going to be using the Kiara Sky EMA monomer. Make sure you're using an EMA monomer, not MMA. I also saw this cool trick on how to not spill your monomer. Basically, you just put your brush in the dappen dish, pour your monomer onto the brush, and it just guides it into the dish, and you don't have a mess, no spills anymore. I definitely probably wasted a good quarter of that bottle just from spilling it. I did go ahead and prep my nails, so that's already done. I do have the Kiara Sky Kolinsky brush in size 14. That's what I'm going to be using today. And now I'm going to go ahead and go in with the protein bond. That is the Young Nails protein bond. It's the best bond that I've used as far as acrylic, dip powder, really anything. It works well. I do 2 coats just to make sure that the acrylic does stay on. This is going to help prevent any lifting and definitely make your sets last longer. And I'm just going to go ahead and file off the little plastic tips on the end of the tips. I don't actually shape them anymore. I just get that little piece off. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my brush. Only wipe it on one side, don't wipe it on both. If you watch closely, you can see that I then flip the brush from the side that was not wiped to that side being down, and that is where I will pick up my bead with. I went ahead and placed my first bead right at the tip, the free edge where I glued that on there. I'm going to go ahead and pat that on just to make sure it does adhere well. This will help prevent any lifting at the tip just because, you know, glue does not last as long. So you want to make sure you start there to really secure that tip on if you're not using forms. And so I'm just going to go in with my second bead. I loved this acrylic. I had no issues blending. Normally I have all kinds of marbling and things whenever I do acrylic. I'm usually very scared of it. But oh my gosh, it was like butter and very easy to work with. I'm not a trained nail tech. I have taught myself everything that I know, and I had no issues using this. So I definitely don't have any particular bead method that I use. Obviously, I'm not using the 1 bead method. I don't use the 3 bead method either. I just go in with beads that I feel that I'm comfortable with, and as many as I need to until I get the job done. I take a long time laying down the acrylic, but I feel like that helps me in the end because then I don't have such a mess. I was extremely impressed with how well I got these ones shaped before filing. I've never had my acrylic not lumpy, so don't think this is normal for me. It is not. I am normally not this good. And so I'm just making sure that I got the edges. I don't have anything kind of hanging down, and I'm just blending that in. Lots and lots of patting, lots of moving. I did speed this up a little bit. The whole set took me about 54 minutes to get done, and I didn't want to sit here and voiceover for that long, so I sped it up just a little bit, not quite 2 times speed. If you guys want real time for the next video, let me know. I just didn't want to bore you all for that long. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go in with another bead. It's important that whenever you go in with your acrylic brush to the acrylic powder itself, that you're making sure that you're not like stabbing it, you're not dragging it. When you go to pick up your bead, you're just kind of patting it on there. I do 3 or 4 times, depending on how wet my brush is. So I'm just going in with the cuticle bead. I did have more issues with this one than I did any of the other ones, and it was because I had turned my heat on. The house was warming up, and so the acrylic started to dry faster, and I was not prepared for that. But I go ahead and I'll grab another bead and blend that out, and you can't even tell at the end, so it's all good. And at this point, I had no idea I was even gonna attempt an ombre. I've literally never done it before. I don't know why I thought I should, but I went for it after this nail. But here I am just kind of getting rid of that spot that I was having issues with blending out, and boom, it's fixed. I did kind of make these a little thick at first, but by the end I did get them filed down to their, you know, appropriate thickness. I've not ever done nails this long on myself either. I didn't cut the tips down at all. So they're super long and super heavy. I've been using Gel X and Poly Gel for a minute now, and my goodness, by the time these were done, my fingers were extremely heavy, and I was happy to file some of that acrylic off for sure. So I'll let you guys just kind of watch me work for a minute until I get to the next finger where I decide to do the ombre. Just kidding, I'm back now. So I wanted to point out that here I'm flipping it over, and as you can see, I'm kind of letting it polymerize, get it got like kind of glossy, and then I'm laying the bead. You don't want to lay it right after you've picked it up. You want to give it a second so that that acrylic has a second to soak up the monomer and get to the state where it needs to be on your actual nail. All right, so here I am deciding if I'm done with that one, and I am. So I closed this one up because I wasn't even sure if I was going to use it again, and then I looked at Excite Me, and it is this really pretty white sparkly color, and I was like, I wonder what I can do with this. And so I just start going in on my next finger with Excite Me. I did get a little extra powder, so I'm kind of tapping that off on that one. Again, laying it at the free edge, patting it down at the tip just to make sure that's on there nice and secure. With the ombre, you want to start down a little lower than where you want your ombre to like kind of show up, because you need it to blend. And so starting at the free edge and then all the way down to the tip with the first color, and then you go in with your cuticle bead with the second color. At least that's how I do it. So I'm just gonna keep going in until I get that to fully cover the tip, and then I will go in with Bad and Boujee again. This color doesn't need to be super thick either, because I'm gonna cap the ombre with clear. That's just to make sure that I don't lose any of that nice fade that I got going on at the end. And so now I'm going to go ahead and go in and I'm going to start adding that Bad and Boujee. I do start with a couple small beads just because, like I said, I've not done an ombre before. I have no idea what possessed me to try it, especially without watching any type of tutorial or anything before. But here I am. I somehow managed to pull it off. So I'm just placing my cuticle bead, making sure that I don't have anything on my cuticle that will cause lifting. And somehow I managed to not get it all over my cuticles this time. Again, this Valentino Beauty Pure acrylic is amazing. The only other acrylics that I've honestly tried though are Kiara Sky and Mia Secret. I've only used the clear Mia Secret, and that was like years ago before I even had any idea what I was doing with nails. And then the Kiara Sky, I only have one of their, well, I have a couple of their all-in-one acrylics, but I only have one that's like a nude color that I like to use. And still I get marbling with that one. I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the acrylic. It's not one of their new cover collections. It's actually the Perfect Nude. But yeah, I don't do well with other acrylics, so I'm not sure how I managed to pull this one off. So I just go in with multiple little beads. I don't want to overpower the white with too much pink. I don't want to put it too far up, and I'm also off camera a bit. I do apologize. I needed to kind of see what I was doing, so I guess I pulled my hand closer to me. But I will come back into frame shortly. And finally, I put my finger where you guys could see it, and then I start pulling it back again. But at this point, I just felt like it needed to blend down further. I felt like there was still kind of a bit of a harsh line, so I went in with another bead, and as you can see, I'm just kind of blending it down to the tip. You want to get a little bit of that color going down to get that nice ombre look, so don't be afraid to, you know, swipe your brush all the way down to the tip of your nail. And it's thundering, so sorry if you guys hear all of that extra noise now. But here I am. I'm going to go ahead and go in with the next bead for the next finger. Just going to go ahead and go in with Bad and Boujee, and then I'll do an ombre on the next nail, and then Bad and Boujee on the pinky. Again, starting right at the free edge. You guys know that though. So go ahead and just watch me work for now. I apologize, you know, for the times that I'm off camera. I will work on that. I did want to point out something that I noticed I was doing that I didn't realize until like halfway through this. If you guys notice that I'm having more issues with the acrylic kind of sticking to my brush and not blending, it's because I keep wiping my brush in the same spot on that paper towel. It's not going to get clean if I'm wiping it on the exact same spot where I've been wiping off all the other acrylic and stuff. So at some point I do recognize that I was doing that and that's what was causing my issues, and suddenly the acrylic stopped sticking to my brush. So make sure you wipe your brush as frequently as you can. Keep it clean so that your acrylic's not sticking to it. All right, so now I'm flipping my hand over to the other side because you want to make sure you have strong sidewalls. After I get to my middle finger, I have to like flip my hand over to see that other side completely, make sure that I don't have any spots that are thin. You have to have a strong sidewall if you want your nails to last, so I'm just making sure that it's looking good over there. And this part just cracks me up because of how I'm holding my hand. I have no idea why I'm holding it so weird, but apparently it gave me better support. I have my finger like pushed down into the palm of my hand. And then my pinky just like kept getting in the way. Those tips were so long. Normally I cut my tips down a little bit, but you know, my bestie loves long nails, so I figured I would do those just for her. So here we are, keeping them full length and struggling hard to maneuver my long fingers so I can work on them. But how pretty are they looking so far? That C curve on these tips is insane. I super love it. And here's where I realized I needed a new paper towel. I told you guys I would realize at some point. So here we go, in with another bead, and just gonna go ahead and fill in that empty spot at the tip. Just look at how easily it blends in. I'm gonna need to get a video like closer up, but my goodness, it is so smooth. Like no effort to blend it. It was amazing. And now I'm going in for my cuticle bead. I do make it a little bit more wet just so it's easier to blend out, but not too wet. Obviously, you need to be able to guide it around your cuticle like I'm doing here. And then I just use the edge of the brush and pull down from the front. I'm just making sure that it's blending, and I'll just keep going in and building up that pink until it's at a good ombre where I like it. And now we are at the final nail. Of course, I cannot keep myself in the frame properly. I think I'm gonna try putting my phone on the other side when I'm doing this hand next time, but hey, still figuring it out. So anyway, just going in, blending it out. I have no idea why I started at the cuticle here. Obviously I wasn't doing that any of the other times. I have no idea what I was doing. But that's what I did. I started right at the cuticle and just started blending. Seemed to work fine, I guess. We will see how long they hold up. And here is where I remembered that I needed to cap the ombre nails in a clear, so I had to go through all those little jars to figure out which one was clear, and it's not open. I swatched everything but the clear because it's clear, so it took me a solid 3 minutes to get that off. And finally I will go in and cap the ombre nails. I did also need to build up the apex a bit on these ones, so that's kind of where you see me start, like in the middle, is so I can make sure that I'm evening that out and getting myself an apex after a couple of beads. My phone died during the filing video, so I have some of the filing, but I figured I wouldn't even add it at this point. You guys have spent 30 minutes watching me lay acrylic, which is amazing. So here we are, just capping that last finger in clear. If you have made it this far into my video, thank you so much for watching. I know I was off camera quite a bit. It is very difficult to do acrylic on yourself, but I'm definitely working on it. I hope you guys can see the improvements in this video from last video. I am working hard to make this a channel you guys want to watch. Let me know what you want to see next. If you guys like the acrylic, if you want to see more gel art, tutorials, just watching me work, let me know. And I'm just gonna go in. I have a little spot on my sidewall of my thumb that needed to be filled in a bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and touch that up and make sure we are all well blended. Overall, I love the Valentino Beauty Pure acrylic. I will definitely be buying more. The V-tips were super long, super C-curved. I've never done square nails on myself before, so it's a new look for me, but I love it. I love how they feel. I love how they sound, because nothing sounds better than tapping acrylic. And I'm just going in with my finishing beads, touching up any spots that now that they're drying I can see need just a little bit more coverage. But this is essentially the final look. I was thinking about adding some bling or maybe some 3D flowers, but honestly, I was too excited. I wanted to use that top coat. I wanted to see how they turned out. So I didn't add anything else. Maybe I will in a couple of days. Let me know if you think I should add stuff to it, because I will. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I super appreciate you guys joining me here on my channel, supporting me on my Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, wherever you're supporting me. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.